Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 2. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, I am so sorry, but I decided to take Mother's Day for me. Okay? So here I am. Now let's get into it if we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, we see Sonya and she's with her mom and her sister, and she tells us that basically there are 9 people in the house. The sister does her hair and the mom is her momager, and she moved them all to the ATL. So it's 3 sets of couples and 2 kids. So it's Sonya and Ross and Lil Deucey, and then it's the mom and the dad, and then it's her sister, her husband, and her 2 kids. So correction, 3 children. Woo child. Now me personally, I love stuff like that on vacation, okay? Because you get the family all together, the kids running around, we're making breakfast, we're getting into it as we get into it. But in real life, oh no ma'am, honey. First of all, I need some me time. And I definitely need some time with my man by ourselves. It's too many grown people in there, honey. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. Moving forward. So then she tells her mom, who went to Jamaica and came back with some beef patties, that the beef patties are running a little low. So child, they fighting up and through about them beef patties because they getting low. Not much to see here. In the next scene, Kenya walks next door to Sheree's house to visit. Because you know Kenya's house is like 2 steps away from Sheree's. I wonder if she lives there. Because remember Kenya said she would drive by all hours of the night and the lights would be off. Sheree, let me find out this is a house just for the show, child. So they go on down into the basement. Because remember, Kenya was taking a detour last time she came over, honey. Because y'all know that's when Sheree had revealed Chateau Sheree. And Kenya was down in that basement. Child, Sheree knows she a terrible host, don't she? She gonna pull out these plastic containers of food and plop them down on that counter if she don't do nothing else. Listen, remember season 9 when they were going to the woods to have a glamping trip, and they were either going to meet at Kenya's house or they were going to meet at Sheree's house. So Portia thought Phaedra was coming over to Sheree's house, but little did she know she was down the street at Moore Manor. So they thinking they about to come inside and get a glimpse. Marlo come busting out, honey, in her Louis Vuitton, getting ready to go inside, honey. Ain't going not nowhere, nowhere. Sheree had that folding table outside with those muffins from the local Kroger or the Publix. And child, she done busted them out, and she done did that same thing for Kenya. But child, I guess food is food. Moving forward. So finally, Kenya gets to legally be in the basement. Girl, you made it. Mama, I made it. But sure, I have to say this, honey. That house is sickening, honey. It ain't never land. Shout out to Nene. And look, Nene, she got it together. It is no longer Never Land. But Sheree, I gotta say this. If push come to shove, you can always Airbnb it. So Kenya couldn't even hate after seeing it, honey. She was like, I can't even hate on this. Like, this is just beautiful. Like, look at the ceilings. And we're in the basement. The ceilings were given a home, you know, a starter home for me. Because I was looking at that. I was like, girl, not the ceilings being as high as the ones in my apartment, and this is the basement. That home is stunning. Do y'all hear me? It's giving the zhuzh that should be given. So the heifer sit down, and they immediately start gossiping. So Kenya asked how she liked the gala, and Sheree was like, I could have worn my joggers, honey, because we know you're going to do it, okay? We know you're going to put them on if you don't do nothing else. But y'all stop it. It was nice to me. Like, I really did see her vision. I think she named it wrong. I don't think she should have called it a gala, because that wasn't no gala, child. That was a sip and see. Shout out to Phaedra. Child, that was a sip and see. Sip these drinks and look at these clothes that I'm about to rent out to everybody else. That's what it was. She just got the name wrong. Don't worry about it, Marlo. So Kenya is like, well, you know, the whole fake, pretentious, I got money, this and that. That's a turnoff to me. As you sit with Sheree. Girl, that is laughable. Honey, you would have hated being on season 1 of Atlanta then, because that was back when they used to be over the top. They used to calculate the total cost of everything they bought. Remember when Nene and Kim went to the store and bought Brielle a pair of True Religion jeans, and you heard that cha-ching, and they put that total down at the bottom? Oh, Kenya, you would have never made it, honey, if you don't like pretentious and over the top. Because originally, I feel like that's what the Housewives were supposed to be. It was supposed to show us opulence, honey. We were supposed to live vicariously through you. So, I mean, you're saying that you don't like the fake pretend. Baby, Sheree is season 1. Sheree in this house is what Housewives is supposed to be. And girl, if you don't go. So then Sheree is like, well, girl, you know, Marlo was saying when you first got here, you lived in an apartment with a white refrigerator. Child, that poor white refrigerator ain't gonna never rest. Do y'all hear me? So Kenya's like, well, what's wrong with a white refrigerator? Something. What's wrong with a bob? Something. Your bob is straight. Hers is completely folded under. Child, that's all I could think of when she said, what's wrong with a white refrigerator? Something. Oh, child. Ain't nothing wrong with a white refrigerator, child. If you got a white refrigerator, honey, it's fine. Honey, it's still going to refrigerate, is it not? Oh, okay. So Kenya is like, well, at least I can pay my rent. She says, okay, so what else did she say? So Sheree was like, And Marlo also said that you had to borrow Lisa Ray's Range Rover. Sheree, why you toting the bones and whatnot? Tell her how you said, yeah, I heard that too. Make sure you add that in there. See, this is the thing about Sheree. She gonna get with somebody and get excited and say she like them and everything. But towards the end of the season, honey, Sheree cannot be bothered. She's done it with Nene. She's done it with Portia. And Kenya, you gonna get the same exact treatment. Because that's just Sheree. Moving forward. And while we talking about things that are borrowed, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, Nene, the one Marlo loved so much, she borrowed Kenya's dining room table for L.A. Child, and didn't even let him eat on it. Do y'all hear me? Child, Marlo tried it. So Sheree is like, well, maybe I misheard her. Let me call Sonya. So they call Sonya, right, to get the rest of it. Side note, Kenya. Yes, for the hey girl, hey. I heard that when Sonya answered the phone. You was like, hey girl, hey. Listen, I know hey girl, hey is a phrase that's been around forever, but every time I hear it, it makes me feel like you're an opinionator. So shout out to Kenya. So they call Sonya and whatnot. Boop, 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 brr. Hello. Girl, tell us what Marlo had said, because I had forgot. So then she fills them in on what Marlo said. And I'm like, baby, these two gonna be hell this season. Kenya is like, well, she drug poor Drew over her bun. Kenya, don't even start, honey, because you caused Drew's wig out last season, you and LaToya forever. So stop it. Okay, y'all were talking about her wig was a chia pet. So she's like, poor girl. So then she goes, she just had a Bosley hair implant and she talking about a girl with a bun. Kenya said, she got a chia pet surgery. When I tell y'all, I hollered. Let me tell you, one thing I love about Kenya, villain or no villain, she effortlessly reads you. It's like she'll just say something and you be like, oh, child, was that a read? Because I don't feel read. Honey, I mean, it's like you really got to get yourself together after she gives it to you. So she goes, isn't the purpose of that surgery for your edges not to wear the lace front? Now listen, I was thinking the same thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, oh, she got that lace front on. Girl, didn't you just get that surgery and whatnot? So she says in her confessional, just go buy the chia pet seeds and put the seeds on your scalp with a little grease and a little oil and get your edges back, girl. These heifers crazy. Now, why Marlo messing with Kenya? She know when she read people it's light work. So then Kenya was like, well, you know what? I actually have love for Marlo. Here goes Sheree. Oh, she got love for you too, but she said you need to pressure wash your house. Kenya said, I do. It's white. Here goes Sheree. Oh, don't worry about it. I got a good guy. Sheree. Oh, my God. This is a fool, child. Well, at least she was a good sport about it. So then Sonya hangs up the phone and whatnot, and then they bring up Drew. So Kenya said, well, you know what? Drew told Candy that you and her share an assistant. So then they show Drew telling Candy that her over-the-top assistant used to be Sheree's assistant and was telling her that Sheree didn't pay. So Candy was like, well, call Sheree and let her know. Well, you done already told Kenya before she could call Sheree and let her know. And you know Kenya gonna tote the message back. Child, I didn't know Candy was a little messy boots. Okay. So Kenya was like, well, yeah, she told me that Drew told her that the assistant said that you owe him some money. And he been telling all your personal business. Child, not the bone collector having her bones collected. People are always saying Sheree don't pay though. They always saying that. Remember when they said she owed Neiman's? Remember when Marlo was like, they say you owe Neiman Marcus. Remember that? When they was off in Africa? She owed them contractors. Sheree, I don't know if this is just your hustle. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Shout out to Ricky Rose. Sheree, you gonna have to pay them people now, allegedly. Okay? Here goes Sheree. Shut your face. Sheree, finally your business is being told. But I wouldn't trust that assistant too much. That assistant gives me bad vibes. He was the one over there talking about Malaysia's children and whatnot over on Basketball Wives. So I hope we don't have to see him all season. Okay, now listen to me, Drew. You love to bring a prop. We don't want it, honey. We don't give a damn. I don't want to see that assistant all season. Okay, last season you had Pastor or Prophet Lot, and you had that tape recorder that you brought and all that. I don't want you to keep bringing them props. Okay, please. So Kenya starts talking about the entanglement with Drew and Ralph's assistant. She was like, girl, it's all kind of mess going on over there. So she starts telling her about that. She was like, yeah, apparently the assistant was gonna give Ralph a massage, and she's supposed to be fired, but then she not really fired. Girl, I don't know. So here goes Sheree. Well, she need to be worried about that instead of worrying about me. Nah, honey. Absolutely not. That messy assistant needs to get some business. Child, you need to hand out some NDAs. When you're somebody, okay, anybody, and you have a person working closely with you and you got some things you don't want to get out, you might want to have them sign some NDAs. Because you see how Candy do it. Baby, you ain't never heard nothing scandalous about Candy. I mean, they do be saying she used to sleep around and whatnot, but that's neither here nor there. As far as what's going on inside of the Tucker household, you ain't gonna get none of that. Moving forward. In the next scene, Drew and his chef she done hired for filming, honey, is making dinner for the family and whatnot. They sitting down to eat. So then Drew and Ralph start talking about Marlo's event. So she tells him that she spoke to Candy and she brought up the assistant's Instagram. So he's like, look, I fired her. She said, okay, so y'all don't talk no more? He said, I never said we don't talk anymore. I just said we're not doing business. Well, what the hell y'all got to talk about? If she's fired, okay, all conversations should be null and void. If we ain't doing business, then we're not communicating. See, Ralph is on that bullsh, okay? He is on that bull. So Drew is like, so y'all still talk? He's like, I said I'm no longer going to work with her. Sir, quit playing these mind games, okay? So you know the right one to play it with. And you know what? Now that I'm sitting back and watching Drew, this is the reason why sometimes I feel like I was a little bit mouthy in my relationships, because I will not allow a man to play in my face like this. I'm going to speak my speech all over you. You will not sit in my damn face and try to convince me that it's okay for you to continue a conversation with her. If she's fired, then that means she's out of your life. There's no reason for you to continue to speak to her. Boy, anyway. So she's like in her confessional, you know, he puts me on tumble dry. Drew, stop coming up with PG-13 ways to say he gaslights you, honey, because that's exactly what he's doing. Ain't no damn tumble dry. Girl, what is you saying? So she's like, yeah, he likes to confuse me. He's like, you know what? Maybe you don't want me to work with her because of how she looks. She was like, how she look? He's like, she's a 50-year-old woman. Okay, and so was Miss Trinidad. And so was Miss Parker. Hey, Miss Parker. When you gonna let me, Miss Parker? Shout out to Smokey and Craig. I don't want to hear nothing about her being 50 years old. What does that have to do with anything? Does she have a pulse? Does she have a vagina? Oh, she does? Oh, okay. Well, then at the end of the day, you'll still sleep with her. Boy, anyway. So he's like, well, she was 12 when I was born. Men date older all the time, B. Look at Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher back when they were a thing. Kris Jenner and her new man. Madonna and whoever she can find wherever she goes. Ralph, please stop. Please just stop, honey. So Drew is trying to get him to see that if the roles were reversed, that he'd be pissed, and he's acting like it's no biggie, and that is pissing me off. So he's like, nobody got a problem with it but you. Well, she's your wife. So of course she's going to have a problem with it, you Nimrod. Ugh. So then in her confessional, she's like, you know, people say that Ralph gaslights me. Like, and I don't know if that's true. What people, Drew? The people on the Twitter? Because they're right. Okay? So production is like, define gaslighting. She's like, oh, okay, well, let me hop on the Googler. Okay. The definition of gaslight: manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Equals Ralph. You're being gaslit. I know we want to retire the word, but the word does have a meaning, and the meaning is your good for nothing husband, Drew. This man is really getting on my nerves. So then they play the gaslight reel. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Child, not the carnival clown music. Child, not this carnival clown music. Ralph, go away from me with this. Oh, child. Honey, if she like it, I love it. He's like, I didn't say I was never going to talk to her again. Then why did you fire her? Why? He's like, you know what? Say it. Say it out of your mouth. If you don't want me to talk to her again, then just say that. Oh, honey, don't threaten me with a good time. Because if I were Drew, I would say, okay, stop talking to her. That's the reason why I wanted her fired. So yes, stop talking to her. Like, we know when the heifer ain't right. It's the vibe you get. Women, we just know. It's like you can have a million women in a room and you can sniff out that one that is ready to do some mess that ain't right. Honey, we be knowing. She's like, no, I would never do that. And he knows that, Drew. That's exactly why he said that. Charlie would have called his bluff so good. So she feels like he will resent her later if she says that. So he's like, well, there's a lot of things I resent you for. Okay, now listen to me. For a while, I thought I could not have as much venom for a husband on a show as I did for Hotel Holt. But Ralph, you have joined the ranks. Ralph is now officially on my list. So she's like, ooh, there's more? You resent me for more? Ooh, that's scary. Well, let me tell you something, Drew. I resent you for introducing me to Ralph. So there's that. In the next scene, Candy is at home and she tells us that she's producing a Broadway play, Thoughts of a Colored Man, and it's the first all-black production on Broadway. That's never happened before. Let me tell you something, Candy. I'm so proud of you. Shout out to Drake. Candy gonna be involved if she don't do nothing else. That is major. So in comes Todd, child. He walking all low and slow. And she's telling him that she's happy, but she's feeling a little bit overwhelmed because she has to go back and forth to New York. So she was like, I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need your help. So he like, girl, quit playing. Stop acting like you do everything by yourself. She's like, yeah, but you go on multiple vacations throughout the year. So when you're gone, it disrupts the flow. AKA, we ain't got nobody to watch these children. So you're going to have to stay put. So he's like, well, you leave for months. She said, but it's for work. She said, so okay, so why you going to Miami? He said, to hang out. So basically, she said they're not on the same page because at first they did everything together. Now he's feeling some kind of way because she's doing this alone. Well, honey, I guess he found a way because I just saw a flyer with both of y'all all over the internets saying that y'all are producing a Broadway play. So then they start talking about this pool room turned garage and they go out there to look and see what I was doing. Candy, that house is too big to put all that junk inside that pool. Girl, if you don't designate an area for all this mess or get yourself a storage. And how long y'all been in this house, Candy? She's like, well, you know what? I'm one of those people that are guilty of never finishing their house. And girl, just call Sheree. She ain't doing nothing else. She know the people that's going to get it together. Baby, Sheree got that whole house together in under 25 minutes. So call Sheree, okay, because she ain't doing nothing else, and ask her to get this house together for you. But you're going to have to pay her, child. So Todd is telling her that, you know, he could use some of the stuff that's in this garage/pool room in his Jersey apartment. So apparently Todd and that ex bought a place. They broke up. He paid it off. So now he has a condo in Jersey. And he's like, yeah, it's our Jersey crib though, babe. She's like, my name ain't on that. He said, my name ain't on this house. Oh, okay, pause. I thought this whole time that y'all bought this house together. Child, let me find out. Okay, Candy, I got to give it to Todd on this one. I'm with Toddrick on this one. If he had this before y'all got together and he not on this house at all, the house that you share with your children, then should y'all get divorced, he ain't going to have no place to go, so he should keep his place. So he's telling her that, child. She skipped right on past that. She's like, well, I don't have a key. Ma'am. He said, okay, you can have a key whenever you want to. So she's telling us in the confessional that Todd wants them to share it, but he had it with his ex, so she ain't really feeling that. He said, well, the house she had when we met, she had already bumped and grinded in it and all kind of stuff. Didn't even flip over the mattress. I thought that was so funny. I said, look at Todd. Todd done made a funny, child, because he always so serious. So she feels like he cares more about them fixing up that Jersey apartment than fixing up their house. Well, it's both of y'all's home, right? So you care more about getting all these jobs than fixing that pool room. Candy, don't start. Honey, these two always have a discrepancy when it comes to who gets what and who owns what. It's all about things with these two. Moving forward. In the next scene, Marlo is going to visit Candy Factory. And here she go. Ooh, this is a rough area, isn't it? Is this why she has those jail gates? Marlo, please don't be a Kim Z, okay? Don't do it. You've been in the hood before. And you know all about them jail gates. Remember they were showing you mug shots all over the first season that you appeared. Don't start that. Don't start none. Ain't gonna be none. People are always talking about where Candy's stuff is located. Candy, where you buying all these properties? Look, Candy is buying the properties where the property is cheaper. It don't matter where it's at, honey. It's what you make it. So Candy is in there doing a Halloween photo shoot, and they sit down to talk, and Candy is telling her that her event was cute and she liked the way that she presented her nephews. And one thing I can say about Marlo, she gonna involve them boys. She is going to involve those children. So she said, you know, she needs to get some advice from Candy. Side note, Marlo, I don't like this short hair in this confessional. It ages you. I do not like that at all. So Candy tells her that the event was cute, but she didn't like how Sheree and Sonya went telling everything that they said, but wasn't telling anything that they said. So Candy was like, all I was saying is I was wondering how you got this and how much you spent. So Marlo was like, yeah, you been that way from day one. Child, she really has. So they started talking about that. Then they started talking about her nephews, and Marlo was saying that she felt guilty when she first got them because, you know, their mom is going through what she's going through, but she feels like she's giving them too much and she's creating monsters. So Candy is like, okay, so we talked about this on the play that I'm working on, I'm producing. And why is it that being black always has to equate to struggle? And you know what? I absolutely feel that. Like, why we always got to get it out the mud? I don't like that mentality. Like, I don't like that at all. Candy said people always think we have to come from the gutter. And I don't feel like that's true. She said, I feel like you can still instill work ethic in your children. And I agree. It's like we have to struggle so much. Child, we got to hit them with a JJ from Good Times, keeping our head above water, scratching and surviving. I don't like that. Nope. I am working to make sure that my son does not struggle like I did. Like, I want to be the example of work ethic, and you teach them along the way. Like, that doesn't mean that they have to be deprived. So Candy said, listen, you said the other kids come to school in Mercedes, so why should your black nephews not have nice things to be normal? Like, why? Yes, Candy, let's normalize black kid luxury. It is okay. It is okay to spoil your kids. Just make sure that they're well-rounded as well. Like, I just don't understand that. So Candy, I'm with you on this one. Moving forward. So Marlo was like, well, you know, I have properties, I have life insurance for them, but I feel like if I die today, like, I don't feel like they're going to go hard. I really do feel like it takes a village. Well, Marlo, if they've been watching you, I am pretty sure that they have picked up on your cues and they going to go hard. Okay, unless they just lazy. So she's like, I know you send cash apps and all of that, but I would like a more hands-on thing. Like, you ain't never even invited me over for movie night. Marlo, so after 3 years, you want to start now that you got your peach? Okay, girl. So Candy said, well, girl, you got to be the friend that you want. Absolutely. So she tells us that she been knew Marlo because Marlo dated her godbrother, but once she got around Nene and them, she started acting real crappy with her. And y'all know what? I cannot stand when people start showing out and acting brand new. I can't stand that. She's like, well, you need to let them come see family. I mean, you got a big family. Let them come see how it's done. We don't never do that. Candy said, well, you don't invite me over either, Marlo. Marlo, you can't Debo your way into play dates. Girl gone. In the next scene, Drew is over there doing these squats yet again. Drew, bring it up, honey. So Sonya calls and she's telling her to come work out. But baby, Sonya is laughing because she know good and well that workout ain't hitting on nothing. Sonya, I hope you're not going to be the cast member that lives in the phone all season. Because, child, you done called every cast member there is, but we ain't seen you since you've been arguing about them beef patties. So anyway, Raph pulls Drew to the side and he wants to take her out so they can reconnect and celebrate them. Child, they seem so orchestrated at all times. And scene. Cut. Okay, guys. Okay, Ralph, you were a little flat. Next time you grab Drew's hand, look her into her eyes. Okay? But that was good. We're going to use that one because it's about to start raining. That's what they give me. That's exactly what they give me, child. In the next scene, Todd is meeting up with the guys at Blaze. Honey, I know that's right. Promotion and it's free food and drinks. Get into it. So Ross gets there and Ralph introduces him to Todd. He's like, I heard you were the man of the hour. I heard you were the man to know. Here go Todd. No, not me, brother, not me. Y'all know what? When he was saying that, all I could hear is Mama Joyce saying, hell, half Atlanta can't stand him. Child, that's all I can hear. Oh, honey. I don't know if he the man of the hour or not, but according to Mama Joyce, half Atlanta can't stand him. So Todd was asking how old they were, right? And so Ross is like, I'm 39. So here go Ralph. I'm 39 too. No. I'm 38. My bad. You lie so much, you don't even know your own age. Boy, okay, let me ask you this. How old is the character that you play on TV? Okay, this character that you're playing right now, how old is he? 38? Oh, okay. So then Todd brings up the assistant, and Ralph is like, well, I mean, I couldn't find a massage therapist. Todd said, yeah, because there are none available. Honey, and he ain't buying it, and he ain't fooling you. So Ralph just lying and trying, honey, trying to make up something on the fly. I don't like Ross hanging with this bad influence that is Ralph and his patchy beard. I don't like it. Sonia, I don't think I really like you on this show. Not that I don't like you for the show, because I think you fit in rather nicely. I just don't like what it could potentially do to your family unit. I don't like it. I don't like Ross sitting up here with Ralph. I don't like it, honey. I mean, it's just something about it. Like, I see he added a little big into that beard when he got in the confessional. Ugh, it makes him look like even more of a creep. I can't stand Ralph, child. So when he gets in the confessional, he's like, but you know, I was gonna do it, but I didn't do it, but I'm a man, and it's like taking medicine. Sometimes men don't take the medicine, but I mean, at the end of the day, Drew shouldn't have gone through my phone to begin with. Oh yeah, it's her fault. How dare she? It's all Drew's fault. Drew, how dare you? So Todd is telling them that Candy is not with the Jersey apartment, and I'm telling you this, Todd, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You need to gift that to Kayla, okay, so that she can start building some generational wealth. Or you can rent it, but I definitely wouldn't sell it. Candy will be all right. Moving forward. In the next scene, Marlo's nephews are going to homecoming. Well, one of Marlo's nephews are going to homecoming. And she's trying to show him how to slow dance and whatnot. So he gets ready for the homecoming dance. And Marlo was just telling us that she didn't have those memories. Her mom was on drugs. She would get her behind whooped all the time. She went to like one dance. And she wants to create memories for her nephew. And I thought that was beautiful, because you know what? These kids are going to remember those things. I do like the fact that Marlo is giving them something that they probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. In the next scene, Drew is all dolled up for her date with Ralph with a particular place to go. Kenya, is this one of your Dancing with the Stars dresses? Look at Drew. But in all seriousness, though, Drew is so pretty to me. She really is a pretty lady. In all seriousness, it was nice to see her happy, honey, because we know Ralph has her in a constant state of fight or flight. So it was nice to see her smiling, but she lost me when she said it was a complete fairy tale. No, it's giving more like a living hell, but I mean, whatevs. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I can be shady boots. Do y'all hear me? I said a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade, honey. So they get to the venue, and Drew, as you're walking up these steps, all of your behind is out in your costume. Production, cameramen, and whatnot. Why are y'all catching her at this angle going up these stairs? Honey, we like our women classy, not showing all the assy. Ooh. So she arrives at his tailor showroom where he had a romantic dinner set up. Child, these two gonna begin a season eating salmon and steak and having a sit-down dinner with rose petals everywhere, with Drew crying if they don't do nothing else. So she's impressed, and she loves his conniving behind and everything that he's doing for her. And she's like, you know, I just want to make sure that we don't have these high highs and then these really low lows. So what'd she say that for? So then he starts talking about what Dr. Ken said. He said, you know, Dr. Ken said we need to focus on ourselves and not what the other person is doing. He said, you know, I feel like the order should be God, me, my wife, then the kids. Sir, that is not the order that it goes. Okay? That's not the order. So she was like, you feel like that's how it's been going? He was like, yeah, I mean, because I'm a people pleaser. Anyway. So she was like, you know what, for me, I feel like I was afraid to speak my speech. She didn't say speak your speech, but y'all know I like to throw my stuff in there and zhuzh it up, because I was kind of afraid of your wrath. So then he was like, well, you know what? I apologize if you feel like, you know, you couldn't voice your concerns. So she said, like, right now, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I don't want to ruin the night. If you can't talk to your spouse because you're afraid that you're going to ruin the evening and he'll get upset, it's time to reevaluate some things, because, honey, that's not healthy. He was like, well, you know, I want to take this time to just enjoy. You know, we can talk about the other things with the marriage counselor. So she's like, oh, okay, so you don't think we should communicate? He's like, you know what? If you value this, then fantastic. If you don't value this, then fantastic. Ralph, this staged, made for TV moment, it's nice, but I am not going to kiss your ass to get it. Like, why should she have to do that? Do you value your wife? Charlie got his nerves. So she was like, no, I do value it. Like, this shows me that we can make it. He know dang on well that Drew is over the moon for this attention, but he wants her to grovel at his feet to keep it. I don't like that. He's like, oh, okay, so this shows you. She is legit afraid to say the wrong thing. So then this clown says he's going to schedule a session for her to learn how to talk to a man to get what she wants. Y'all know what I see in this scene? All I see in this scene is future co-parents. It ain't no way. It is not no way. He has really lost his rabbit mind. So then she says the same thing so he can learn to talk to a woman. So they're going tit for tat, back and forth and back. And he's like, you know, Dr. Ken said that you like to do the zingers. She said, oh, okay, well, Dr. Ken said you're a maniac. Well, I mean, if the doctor said it, I mean, who am I to debate it? If the doctor say you're a maniac, I'm going to call you a maniac. So he said, I'm not a maniac. I'm very successful. Like, I have degrees on the wall. Half of the entertainment industry are maniacs, and they're very successful. She's like, well, let me get on Google, honey, because you know I love a good Google. Let me see what the definition of maniac is. So she reads the definition of maniac, and all I can say is this. Drew, you stayed on that Googler more than a little bit this episode. Baby Google schmoogle. So she reads the definition, and for me, okay, sounds like Ralph. So he gets mad. And she was like, I'm sorry. He was like, well, you don't really mean it. She's like, no, I really am. I'm very sorry. But it's just showing me that we both have things that we need to work on. So he's like, why don't you just try to have a good night? He doesn't want her to have a voice. Okay, just shut up and be grateful. Be grateful I brought you out the house. I am the prize. Ralph is in straight sicko mode. He is sick. Okay, he wants Drew to be happy that he is her spouse. Okay. So she starts crying, right? He's like, you ready for dessert? She said, mm-hmm. Okay. He is emotionally and mentally abusing her. Allegedly. Okay, because I don't need no problems. But I mean, it's clear as day. So she leaves and then she comes back. He's like, see, this is some bull. Tonight was not the night to fix things. She's like, so you don't think we should talk? He's like, you know what? I shouldn't do things. I just shouldn't do nice things for you. Doing nice things for you is not the move. I regret doing this. Drew, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You really need to put your foot down and get your voice back. To see her sitting there looking sad, crying about this bozo with her head held down, that really pissed me off. Do y'all hear me? Pissed me off. I wouldn't want him to do nothing else for me. Please don't do nothing else for me, honey. If it's too much, then don't do it. Drew, you deserve better. Okay, you deserve more and you deserve better. Not someone who does things for you and then you're supposed to sit and be quiet because he did something for you. Child, it's the idiot for me. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Again, sorry it's late, but I feel like it's right on time. So y'all have something to watch. Everybody else's reviews are done. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.